I have this theory: problems solve problems. I know it sounds weird. Let me dive into it. History has shown us that the greatest solutions have come from solving problems. The invention of backpacks were designed so that we could carry more stuff on our backs on long commutes. Bridges were designed so we could cross rivers without dying. And basically any other discovery that you can see within your house, from knives, forks, dinner tables, plates, TVs, screens, coffee cups, food, a potato, you name it, are all solutions to problems we once had. Every great discovery is backed on a problem that was solved. So now you take that formula and you put it into the scenario that you're in, which is maybe filled with problems. Maybe you're working on a video and that video is not getting completed because there's the error or problem of something. Insert X. Or perhaps you're trying to create that video that you've been wanting to make for a really long time, but the background's not right, your script isn't ready, your mindset is off. These are all problems. Now, each problem deserves a solution for it to move forward. But what we tend to do is we tend to over-amplify the solution. This is where this equation goes off. Insert procrastination. You push all of these things off the completion of your project because nothing is hitting the standard. And I know this because I do this because I was in this until I decided to use this one technique, which is just called not giving a f. So when you stop giving a f about what all of these standards are and you put yourself back into this situation, immediately you start to look at what you have. What resources do you have around you to basically muffle out this problem that you've amplified in your head? You redevelop whatever your limitation was to an industry standard to creating your own standard. Design your own standards with whatever limitations you have and solve the problems to create unique solutions. I'll give you guys another example. I have this underwater camera case that I absolutely love. It was the best purchase I made in 2020, capturing some of my favorite footage I've ever captured. Now, while traveling with it, I got this annoying scratch on the front of the lens. What ended up happening was all the stuff that I would shoot on this just looked so bad. Terrible, blurry thing with these weird crystal effects. And so I put the case on the shelf. I couldn't afford another lens cover for it, and I just ended up not using it. Until one day I was sort of stuck in the scenario where I had to. And so what I ended up doing was I did some modifications on my camera. I opened up the aperture, so basically created more depth of field, eliminating whatever those scratches were in the foreground, shooting on a different lens. I created a unique solution for a micro problem, creating originality as the outcome. Now, I would have never have experienced this discovery if it wasn't for me trying to solve a micro problem. And this isn't just for lens coverings or storytelling structures or video setups. I wanted to look at a lot of problems within cinema, for an example. Within film, we had all these sort of problems when we would create stuff. I'll give you 3 examples: lens flares, film grain, and 2:3:5 aspect ratio. These were all limitations that movies back in the day had. They were sort of problems. 2:3:5 aspect ratio was created because to compress the frame to give it an anamorphic look, you got the black bars in the top and bottom of the screen. So over time, we were able to develop cinema and give it a full screen, to be able to fit the entire screen without giving you those anamorphic 2:3:5 aspect ratio. We then were able to put matte boxes on the lenses so that we weren't capturing those lens flares that were blurring out the image. And then finally, we were able to create HD imagery that was super clean and digital so that we didn't get that gritty texture across the screen. What ended up happening? We ended up creating filters that we would put across the footage, 2:3:5 aspect ratio PNG files that we drop on top of the shots, and of course, we all know about lens flares. So all of these things, these problems that cinema spent years to try and conquer and try to get rid of, all of a sudden became something that we wanted again. We wanted grit, we wanted the problems. So if you have this sort of formula where you try to solve a problem with a unique solution, I guarantee you're gonna create something that's unique to you, your brand, your video, your concept, and create a back pocket concept that you can run with. That's sort of what I did with this video setup. So I'm gonna give you guys a bit of a tour of what this is, because it's crazy. So I've got my camera, my Sony a7S Mark III, balancing on a knife, and then I've got this light that I designed. I'll give you a quick tutorial on that quick. And then there's this microphone that I've got clamped onto the bottom of this shelf, wired into my camera. And then check out this lighting thing. It looked like a tutorial attached to the bottom of this. So basically, I've got this garbage bag that I've put over top of a mixing bowl, and then I've got this little aperture light on the inside, bouncing off the inside, creating this effect. This is this very janky lighting setup that I made for this video, and it ended up working out kind of well. So just because you don't have all of the bells and whistles that you wish you had, and that maybe your video is not going to look exactly the way you envisioned it, doesn't mean you should procrastinate. Rather, you should try and figure out what are unique solutions to this problem, because if life will teach us anything, we can either continually procrastinate and run away from problems, or we can try and solve them when they start, and we'll be able to make unique solutions that make us authentic and original. Thanks guys for watching.